Hey friends, this is Lindsay for Fontsy. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you're having a fantastic day. In today's video, we're actually getting real. We're talking about the challenges that arise when applying vinyl to curved surfaces or surfaces that are not flat because, it is more challenging to do that, but it's not impossible. So I have this monogrammed pumpkin here that I applied some Oracal 651 to, and I monogram pumpkins every single year. This is a faux craft pumpkin that I got at the craft store. But for any curved surfaces, it's going to be a little bit more challenging to apply that vinyl to. So we're sharing some tips and tricks and things to keep in mind to hopefully make it a little bit easier for you. So if you love monogramming, if you like this design, I do have a link to the Monogram and Personalize It bundle in the video description, so you can check that out and monogram all the things. I'm including a craft pumpkin. So I got this at the craft store, and the pumpkin is like the ultimate curved surface because it's got the curve going horizontally and vertically, and then it's got the ridges in between. So it does take a little bit more finesse to get a vinyl monogram on there or a vinyl decal, but it is totally possible. So of course you're going to need some Oracal 651 or your other favorite permanent adhesive vinyl, some transfer tape, burnishing tools, which we'll talk a little bit more about in a second, a pair of scissors, and then something to apply your vinyl decal to, like a craft pumpkin, which I just picked up at the craft store. So we'll go ahead and get started. So I've already gone ahead and cut and weeded the design I'm using in Oracal 651 permanent adhesive vinyl. And if you like the design and you want to check out some of the supplies that I'm using, I do have links in the video description to that. Just like any vinyl decal, you cut it with your favorite cutting machine. So I'm using the Cameo 4, but you can use your CRICUT, your Scan and Cut, and then weed out the design and apply the transfer tape over that. And to get that transfer tape really smooth, which is going to help keep the vinyl on the sticky mat, and then that helps it to lay flat so that you can apply the transfer tape over the top, and that transfer tape is on the vinyl really, really smooth and taut over the top of the vinyl decal. And then go ahead and cut away around the design and cut away the excess transfer tape and vinyl backing. And then when you're taking off the vinyl backing, flip it over and roll that vinyl backing off of the vinyl decal. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to cut the vinyl backing kind of like in half so that I can put both parts back on, but I can leave a very small gap between them, so a little bit of the vinyl and the transfer tape is exposed. And then we'll go ahead and start the application to the craft pumpkin, which I've already wiped down with a paper towel and some alcohol, so it's nice and clean. And then I'm working with the pumpkin in my lap, so sorry about this weird, awkward angle, but wanted you to be able to see what I was doing, but able to work effectively on the pumpkin as well. So, find a position that works best for you. But with that exposed part of the transfer tape and the vinyl, I can position the monogram onto my pumpkin, and then, stick that middle part down to then fold back one side of the decal and remove the transfer tape. So the vinyl backing. So this is kind of like that hinge method of applying vinyl. And so now I'm just working on one side of the vinyl decal, slowly burnishing, laying that down and burnishing that onto the pumpkin. And then I'm also taking my scissors and cutting into the transfer tape. And so that is going to allow me to then fold or overlap the transfer tape so that I can get the vinyl to lay smooth, because we don't really care if the transfer tape has folds or bends in it. So if you cut into the transfer tape into the decal, that can be a little bit easier to position the vinyl decal onto the surface. I am working slowly and carefully, and one thing that this pumpkin did have going for it is that it's made of a non-porous plastic. So actually I could lay down the vinyl, and then if it wasn't quite where I wanted it, I could quickly lift it back up. Some craft pumpkins are made of like a foam material, and in that case then the vinyl will lift up some of the craft foam and rip it. But with this kind of smooth non-porous plastic, it was actually easy to be able to reposition the vinyl decal a little bit. So keep that in mind when you're choosing the surfaces that you're going to work on. Then I can go ahead and repeat the process on the other side, where I flip back the vinyl decal and remove the transfer tape backing, and then lay the vinyl and transfer tape back down, and try and just position that vinyl decal onto the pumpkin. But what I did differently on this side is I actually cut some of the vinyl backing and applied it to the back of the leaves, so I could keep that protected while I positioned the other side of the letter M. So looking back, what I could have done is I could have broken up this decal into sections, where I just would have applied the letter M, and then I could have applied the leaves separately on either side, and that might have made it a lot easier to apply this vinyl decal. So that's another thing to keep in mind. If you can split your decal up into sections, then you're going to be working with smaller sections at a time, which is more easier to manage. So another thing to keep in mind when applying vinyl to a curved surface is the size of the decal itself. So if you can size the decal as small as possible, then you're going to be working with less of a curve and more of a flatter area for that vinyl decal to stick to, so it's going to be easier. Now of course you want the vinyl decal to be proportional to the size of the project you're working on, but the smaller it is, then the easier it'll be to apply it to your curved surface. And so then next you're going to want to remove the transfer tape, and you can do that in sections as well, just cutting off a little bit of the transfer tape with a pair of scissors. And then another tool that can be helpful is actually a blow dryer. So this is the same blow dryer that you would use on your hair, set on low, so low airflow and low heat, but just that little bit of warmth from the blow dryer onto the vinyl can help to make it more pliable, which helps with smoothing out any bumps or wrinkles, helping to allow you to stretch that vinyl a little bit to get it to be exactly smooth and right where you want it to be. And then I'm also using just another little tool that I found in my craft room. I think it's for dry embossing. It's just got a rounded end on both sides, and that was really helpful for getting into those deep ridges in the pumpkin, and going over little tiny bumps and smoothing out little bumps in the vinyl. So look around your craft room, look around your kitchen, your garage, maybe even your kids' room if we're in their toys, for something that might be appropriate for helping you to get that vinyl to lay smooth and flat. So a tool like this that's got a very blunt rounded point was extremely helpful for getting into those little tiny nooks and crannies, and with the help of the heat from the blow dryer, just set to low, it was enough to be able to smooth out those areas that I was having a little bit of trouble getting to lay flat. So essentially you would repeat these steps for the rest of the vinyl decal, removing the transfer tape, using your burnishing tool, whatever that may be, with the heat of a blow dryer, to smooth out the vinyl decal, and working out those little bumps and lumps in the vinyl until you have it all completely applied. So obviously the footage that you saw was a little bit sped up. So in all transparency, it took me about 20 minutes to apply this decal, this fairly large decal, to the pumpkin. And, you know, there are just a few little tiny areas that have a little bit of wrinkling, maybe just a few tiny little bubbles. But if I didn't point them out to you, then you wouldn't see them. And, you know, when you view the item from far away, which is, you know, how it's going to be displayed, then you won't even see them anyway. So just like with anything, you know, with practice, you'll get better and faster. And then my last piece of advice is just to be kind to yourself during the whole process, because it definitely is easier to apply vinyl to a flat surface compared to a very curvy surface like this. But the great thing about crafting is if there's a will, there's a way. You will do it. You can find a way to do it. And if you actually have any advice or tips and tricks of your own of applying vinyl to curved surfaces, please share them in the comments, because we love to be able to learn from each other and make this crafty life a lot easier. So thank you so much for watching, you guys. If you love monograms and you want to monogram all the things, then you can pick up this design and more monograms in the Monogram and Personalize It bundle here at Fontsy. So I have that linked in the video description. So thank you so much, guys, and have a great rest of your day. Bye.